verdict today. Kethi Kilonzo is not a registered voter. Let's bring in Haron Ndubi, one of the lawyers that was representing Kethi Kilonzo in this case, of course, alongside Julie Soweto and Tom Kajwang. Haron, do you think your client got justice today?
Certainly not. The client did not get justice. Kethi Kilonzo didn't get any justice because the commission was sitting in judgment over complaints around its own performance of work, so it sat in judgment over their own cause. Two, the allegation that slip was stolen is untested. In fact, the more important thing to ask about that slip is this: how did TNA Jubilee get the serial number of that slip if it was not supplied to them by Kethi Kilonzo or the IEBC? Obviously, the impression one gets is that IEBC must have provided those details because they could only have been in the possession of either Kethi Kilonzo or the IEBC itself.
All right, Ndubi, this now raises a lot of questions really about the IEBC. Listening to the proceedings today and, of course, the ruling, one would ask the same question that you've asked. Of course, this has raised so many questions about the IEBC and its mandate and the way it has carried out its obligation. What about the whole proceeding and with particular regard to the IEBC worries you?
There are several things one would challenge about those proceedings. The tribunal or the committee that starts to deal with that question, its mandate, in my understanding, is that it's supposed to resolve disputes that emerge from a political party nomination, not after the nomination has been concluded and a certificate has been issued. But that is more like a technical legal question which the High Court will be dealing with. Secondly, the issue of the evidence that was available to the committee, in spite of our position that the committee sat illegally and unconstitutionally, there was evidence that the register was altered. There were whited out names and others superimposed on it. The register that showed the distribution of the voter registration acknowledgement slips was also altered, especially in regards to Nairobi. There is a question of the fidelity and credibility of the documentation process within IEBC. And remembering that the chairperson was not quoted in a section of the press today that they did not know that there was anything stolen, it really says a lot about the lack of preparedness, the capacity or ability by the commission to engage in a partisan manner. The impartiality of the commission was tested, and I think so far it has shown that they have failed in the context of partiality or impartiality.
All right, Haron, I've listened to the proceedings, and of course the IEBC now says they may institute legal proceedings against Kethi Kilonzo, putting in mind that the slip she had is one of those reported stolen. Are you worried that your client could now be facing legal proceedings from the IEBC?
Certainly not, certainly not. They have yet to investigate. In fact, the report has not been made to the police that there is a loss of any slip. You will recall that no document or evidence was brought to the committee to show that booklet they alleged as having been stolen, or part of which was alleged to have been stolen, was a genuine one. Even if there is the question whether it was genuine or not, the first suspect, if they were to investigate anybody, should be TNA, Jubilee, and those lawyers, is it just Pambuki and two others, who signed the letter with the details of that acknowledgement slip, meaning they had access to it prior to Kethi Kilonzo, or the IEBC itself conspired with them to give them that slip or to acquire it unlawfully. So in terms of legal or criminal liability, that is the farthest of anybody's worry regarding Kethi Kilonzo.
Haron Ndubi, you're raising very interesting questions and issues regarding your client, but really, where does this now leave Kethi Kilonzo in terms of aspiration to run for the Makueni senatorial race?
Of course, the race is not lost yet. I expect that tomorrow morning we should be in court, in the High Court. Like I said earlier, that was just a committee of a panel of the commission. Its decision is not a final decision. We expect to challenge that decision in the High Court, and we expect to succeed before the High Court. So there is a huge possibility that Kethi will still be on the ballot. I don't think anybody should give up hope. Secondly, in the event the High Court did not agree, There is a greater issue to deal with the integrity and dignity and credibility of the IEBC in terms of protecting the right to vote and protecting the validity of the ballot of anybody, every citizen's right to vote. And therefore, that is the question that I think Kenyans should be focused on, that where is IEBC today? Is it impartial? Is it a Jubilee or called IEBC? Whose IEBC is it? Is it respecting the Constitution? Is it upholding the Constitution or defending it? I think those are questions really that the IEBC needs to answer, and we will be helping it answer those questions in the proceedings we will be bringing to the High Court tomorrow.
Haron Ndubi, thank you so much for speaking to KTN Prime. Haron Ndubi, one of the lawyers representing Kethi Kilonzo, saying it's not over until it's over. This case now goes to the High Court. Let's see how this plays out. Thank you.